Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Flipping Fabulous with your Flipping Fabulous real estate broker, Jacob Jennings. And I'm joined today with the incredibly talented and attractive Mr. Matthew Koren. Say hello, darling.
Hello, everyone. Thanks, Jacob, for having me.
So glad you're here. Now, I wanted you to come on our show today to talk about the future of solar in Florida and why you got involved in solar, because you also have a background in real estate, correct?
Correct. Yeah, I did flipping and wholesaling and real estate development, Airbnbs for many years. I'm going on a decade now of that, actually.
And you actually started off you were in Portland, correct, when you started this journey?
Yeah,
And
exactly.
you
In
moved
Portland,
down.
Oregon, I had some properties on the West Coast, Eugene, Portland, and then we actually, during COVID, where COVID refugees moved from Portland to the East Coast of South Florida now here and have consolidated all of our real estate down here.
And which is how you and I became friends, you, me, and your incredible partner, Brandon. So love working with you guys. And you have such a diverse background. You've been an entrepreneur. You're really a chronicpreneur. You have a habit of just starting companies. And
I'm an idea guy. I'm a visionary. So I like to see things come into fruition. I don't necessarily need to be around for all the operational pieces, but that's
well,
my failing.
but
Starter, not a finisher.
I can understand how that goes in so many ways, but we'll move past this. So tell us a little bit more about why you pivoted from real estate and why you went into solar.
Yeah, so real estate, as many people are probably aware, especially as an investor, can occur a little transactional. And really, the reason why I'm in business is to help create communities where people can thrive and grow. So obviously, I'm in business. I want to make money. I want to do that consciously, using, for example, the conscious capitalism principles. But at the same time, real estate, the way that we were operating, it was a franchise. It just felt very transactional. It didn't feel like we were able to really serve our homeowners. So I was kind of looking for something new. Economic downturn of last year obviously motivated change because it's harder to push through something when you don't have that passion or drive. And I recommend every entrepreneur find that passion or drive as the number one piece, because it doesn't matter how easy or hard the market is if you don't have the passion for it. So we ended up, without that passion, pivoting into solar, because solar is this triple bottom line approach to supporting our local and national economy. There's a win for the homeowner. They're getting a solar power plant on the top of their house, which is actually generating them revenue in the form of a credit for their power that they're producing. And they're able, of course, to utilize that power. So we're actually sometimes eliminating and often reducing people's electricity bill. And that has a major impact right now with inflation continuing to rise and the energy rates continuing to rise. Secondly, obviously, there's an environmental impact to getting powered by the sun, reducing our reliance on fossil fuels. There's an alignment with the international not regulations, but the principles of moving the whole. The United Nations came up with the Sustainable Development Goals, one of which is to move us away from fossil fuels and clean up our energy usage. And so solar obviously is a clean energy. People kind of complain that solar panels are dirty to make, like batteries are dirty to make, but that technology has changed. And so it's actually a lot cleaner, and the design of the panels has changed. So it is a lot more environmentally friendly, and the benefits certainly outweigh the costs on that approach. And then finally, it's making me money. So there is a market there. People value it. It's more and more economically feasible for homeowners and still profitable for us as the utility rates continue to rise and people are looking to diversify and become energy independent. So their household expenses aren't so tied to the ups and downs of the fossil fuel market.
You actually told a really interesting story when you had one of your meet and greets about Powur, which is why I was so curious about how you were able to help a mother who was a first-time home buyer. She was a single mother, and she was able to get solar on her house and help reduce her expenses every month for her family. It was a really touching story. I'm trying to remember how it went exactly. Does this ring a bell? It was,
Yeah, I
yeah.
think so. The one of well, there was a new homeowner. It was a new couple, so she wasn't actually a mother, but it was a new homeowner. And every new homeowner is looking at the one of the biggest purchases in their life, right? That they've just made, and now they have a whole new home economics budget, economic reality that they need to attend to, and fortunately, being a homeowner in this country is very much a wealth builder. So I think people make the right decision when they do move into home ownership. And similarly to moving into home ownership, why not move into energy? Before you were renting and your rent rates could go up precipitously depending on the market. With energy, you can rent your power from your utility, or you can own it and own your power and actually stabilize your bill. So what we're able to do for this homeowner, this couple, is as they're moving into their new home, we're able to take what is a rising bill and actually stabilize that. So it's a fixed cost for at least the next 30 years, if not more. And now they have a home budget that they can plan on, that's not going to change on them, that is less influenced by inflation. And so when they start to look at how do we build wealth, they don't have to worry anymore, at least about that one piece of, well, how much is energy going to cost me in 1, 5, 10 years, and maybe take away from some of the gains I'm getting, whether via a raise at work or other investments that I'm making to support and build my wealth.
So I know that you can, if you want to get solar on your property, there is financing available. Is that correct?
Correct. Yeah, there's actually lots of options, and it tends to be very good rates, better than what you would get even on like a a HELOC, a home equity line of credit, and certainly some of the mortgage rates out there.
And so how would someone go about applying for those loans?
So, I mean, we do an end-to-end solution. So when someone is interested in solar, we just ask them a couple of questions about why they want to go solar, because we want to make sure the system is designed appropriately. My number one objective when I'm working with a homeowner is to make sure I'm giving them the right size system and the right system for what they need. And so in that process, after we design the system and they're, A-OK ready to go, then we look at some financing options, and we can actually provide them up to 100 different financing options through Powur, the platform that I use to support my business. And Powur is in 22 states. We do 800 installations a month. We're the 42nd fastest growing private company on the Inc. 5000 list. And so we're able to take our purchasing power and actually pass those savings on to our clients so they get the best rates and best options available. Typically, I'm going to ask the question, are you wanting to pay this off in a few years, or you don't want the lowest monthly rate for the entirety for as long as you can go, which is more of the cash flow side of the equation. I want a lower cash flow, or I just want to pay it off and not have the debt. And so you have those two options. And so, like, for example, I have a luxury real estate agent who is intending to pay off his loan in a year, 2 years. And so we're going to give him a higher interest rate, way higher than he would get for like a home mortgage, for example. Or at the same time, if they want a smaller cash flow, I'm going to give them a lower rate. Another client, I'm going to give the lower rate because they just want to have the least amount impacted on their home economics, their cash budget, for the entirety of the loan. So those two options are usually the ends of the spectrum, and we try and put them in some sort of balance in between if that's needed.
So, and this is on the real estate side of things. If you're looking at getting solar on your home, it is a huge benefit, especially when people are around our age. We're really becoming more environmentally conscious. We're trying to invest in things that are more green, eco-friendly. And it's kind of a shift in mentality right now, like you were saying, reducing our dependency on fossil fuels, but also to make life more affordable.
We never had an option before.
Yeah. I like your analogy.
The biggest shift is,
oh, I'm sorry, you broke up. I didn't mean to cut you off, honey. What was that?
oh, apologies. I was just saying the biggest shift is people didn't know they had an option before. Before you didn't have an option, you had to pay your utility, and now you have an option. You don't have to.
Which is really cool. Like, you usually use the example of, like, if you could lock in your gas prices in 1998, wouldn't you? Like, that was great. I remember those days. I had just started driving and gas was like, 15 cents. I'm totally being dramatic,
right.
Not 15 cents, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It was $1 for a while. Virginia was very cheap. But anyway, it's something that if you're an investor or you're a first-time home buyer, and you're looking to say, okay, I'm getting into real estate as a way of building my portfolio or expanding my portfolio, how does this work? Well, there are several loans, and I know Matthew will speak to this more, but they will actually, some of the financing will be actually attached to as a lien position in your house. So when you go to sell that property, just be aware that you're going to take care of that lien. So when you talk with Matthew and his team, make sure you talk about how long you plan on staying in that home, so you understand, okay, well, this financing option, we want to pay it off as soon as possible. Or if you're going to sell the home in 5 years and your loan's not done, we have to make sure you factor that in when you talk to your real estate agent, so you're not surprised. You can actually go ahead and factor in that cost to clear that lien out. as part of your resale process, which is something you can do. So I want to ask you really quickly about Powur's affiliate program that you guys have.
Mhm.
What is it? I mean,
Yeah,
whether
so we call-
you're listening, I'm in the affiliate program, so you're going to be using that link to talk to Matthew, just so you know. Go on, tell him about it, Matthew.
well, two things. These loans are basically assumable, so you can pay it off at closing, or you don't have to. Powur has a closing department that will handle that for realtors. I think the biggest piece of feedback I get from realtors is solar is kind of a pain in the butt when they go to close, and that's probably because the solar company you're dealing with isn't set up well to deal with that. Powur being in 22 states and being, again, a very fast growing company, we have a whole department that just focused on closings. And so whatever the paperwork that is needed, whether your title needs to show that this loan is going to get paid off, we do that paperwork. If you're going to show that actually the new homeowner is going to take over the loan as an assumable loan, you can do that too. And just requires the proper documentation. And we have a whole department dedicated to making sure that's a smooth and quick process
That's
for our
awesome.
realtors and
That's really awesome.
and regarding yeah, it's totally key. And you don't get that, with the smaller kind of, we're not actually a solar company is the thing to remember. Powur is a platform that's connecting the financing options, the equipment providers, the installers. It's kind of like an Uber in the sense that, Uber for rides is that, you're the rider, we're the driver, and we just have, or we're Uber, and we're connecting the drivers and the riders, in the sense of solar, we're connecting the homeowners with all these partners that need to get together and work together to make it happen. Yet Powur is that central network or hub of the network and is the contracting license holder for everything. So everything comes back to Powur and is supported by our contracting license and our professional integrity, which is a AAA, rating on the Better Business Bureau. But to your question, the ambassador program is an opportunity for really anyone to benefit from solar. The reality is those of us who are already in real estate, for example, our realtor friends, you're already in a conversation with someone about their home. And so it's kind of natural to say, well, have you thought about solar? Because you can actually generate a nice little side income for yourself for each homeowner that ends up going solar. So after you get someone into a new home, hey, there's a bunch of different home services that you may already be offering your clients, for example, home security, or if they want to paint the exterior, there's things that you're probably already referring out. And solar might be another way to say, hey, now that you have this new mortgage, maybe it's not the rate that you wanted. Let's see about how we can lock in your energy rate. Why don't you talk to Matt over here at Powur, and he can lock in your energy rate so it doesn't increase and improve their home budget. The other opportunity is in when you're as a realtor, you only have access to about 25% of the market at any one time that is on the market. So you have your listings that people are either buying or selling. Well, there's probably, correct me if I'm wrong, there's probably about 75% of the market that's not on the market at any one time. They're just sitting there. Now, these are people that haven't yet chosen to sell or haven't yet chosen that they want to go buy something, but they're in your network, they're in your Rolodex, they're in your database, and you want to stay in contact with them. Well, solar is another way to stay in contact with that other part of your database as well.
You mean like creating a podcast with you and sending it out to everybody so they might have a chance to call you for some of their service? I had no.
Someone is a good example, Jacob Jennings.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Well, I'm so glad you took the time to talk to us a little about solar and the future of solar here in South Florida. I'm so excited for your endeavor. You've been doing great work with Powur, and you're so much more energized now that you're doing this endeavor. I love seeing that passion in you. So if people want to get in touch with you, Matthew, how can they get in touch with you?
Yeah, they can go to, here it is, powur.com/Matthew Koren. Also, Jacob's laughing at me. Also, Matthew.Koren at Powur, I'm sorry, Matt at MatthewKoren.com. If you want a really easy email to remember, just remember my name, Matt at MatthewKoren.com. And my number down here in South Florida is 954-543-0658. Happy to work with anyone who's interested. And my, primarily my job is education. So I'm happy to talk with anyone at any stage of the journey of going solar, and just make sure you have the right information, because a lot of people think they know how it works, but they don't really know how it works. And so I'm happy to give you the most updated information.
Well, I'm glad to actually by the way, if you're looking to get in touch with Matthew, that's all going to be in the comment section below. So please take a look there. And of course, if you're looking for any real estate needs, whether you're looking to buy, sell, or invest, or you need a strategy to buy, sell, and invest in real estate here, I am your flipping fabulous broker, Jacob Jennings with Balustrade Real Estate, and I'm glad to be of service. So you can reach out to me at 954 406 1800. That took a second. Took a second, I know. Or you can also call me at 757-478-6067. Or you can also reach out, Jacob at jacobreed.com. That is REIDE.com. Thank you so much for being on our little show today, Matthew. It's always great seeing you, and I'm so glad we finally got to put this together.
Yes, thanks for having me again.
I'll talk to you soon. Thank you, everyone. Take care. Mwah.